I had a very rare condition called tumor-induced osteomalacia. And in essence, what happened was the shape of my body, but specifically my bones, changed. And this happened gradually over several years. One of the consequences of having your body change, because I used to be a little below 5'10", and then I got as short as 5'2", is having all of these bones compressed so tightly together, because that's what happened. Is my entire spine became compressed together. So it lost about 5 or 6 inches in length. So besides the obvious part of that's bad for your body, and my body was shaped more like this than anything else, was at any given moment, I had 20-something minor fractures in my body from just simple things, from sleeping in the wrong direction and stuff like that. So I want to share with you a couple of few paragraphs here about something that really stood out to me about that time in my life. 5 years without hugs. I find it incredibly challenging to describe to other people what it was like to not be able to be hugged. It's not like I was some big hug nut or that I ran up to people wrapping my arms around them. I was prudent with my hugs, but fully hugged people that I loved and felt safe with. That was before the intercostal muscles tightened and the ribs started fracturing in multiple places. I had read information and research on hugs and their importance and why they're important, what hormones are released, etc. I read all of that stuff. I would share this information with my clients I had worked with. That was before I went to half a decade without being able to hug other human beings or them being able to hug me. Let me correct that. That was before I went a half a decade without being able to embrace other humans, or for them to be able to hug me without me paying a considerable cost for the experience. Eventually, my hugs became what was like really a precursor to COVID hugs, where both people would put their arms out like they're hugging, but don't actually hug. I guess that made me a pioneer in COVID-19 hugging. Funny, not funny. The sad part about all of this is that I eventually didn't even notice that I wasn't hugging people anymore. Not hugging became an accepted norm in my life. Now and then I'd be lying in bed, uncomfortable and irritated that it took me 20 years of recovery to be able to let people I love and care about hug me without my body stiffening or going numb. It felt like a cruel joke. I remember one morning thinking it would have been better if this had happened a decade earlier. While hugs were only sometimes enjoyable or pleasurable, why did it have to happen after I can enjoy and feel safe hugging? Along with not being able to hug people safely, I had to decide to stop laughing. Laughing was even more physically uncomfortable than hugging. I remember the first time that I laughed in a half a decade without pain. The impact of no hugging or laughing was not truly understood until they reappeared. I had forgotten about them to the degree that they didn't even cross my mind when Dr. Gaffney, the doctor who did research on tumor-induced osteomalacia in the National Institutes of Health in Bethesda, Maryland, asked me during the first call what I wanted back in my life. I encourage anyone who reads this paragraph to hug somebody today and to please make sure you laugh. Really laugh. They are such treasures and gifts whose importance is only noticed when they're gone. These simple but profound experiences are an incredible source of joy and gratitude. Again, I went about 5 years without being able to hug and laugh. And if you paid any attention to the work that I'm doing or who I am, you could see how absolutely crazy that would be for somebody like me. Thanks for listening, and hug somebody today and laugh really hard and loud.